Hello, this is Nathan Lawrence, arborist and owner of the Good News Tree Service. And I like to explore and travel and take a look at the trees wherever I can go. I've been in about 20 countries on 4 different continents. And one of the things on my bucket list has been to get north, way up into the upper parts of Alaska, North America, into the Arctic Circle to take a look at the trees and the plants up there. So, along with my partner in life, my wife, this has been on our bucket list to do. So we decided to fly from Portland, Oregon up to Fairbanks, Alaska, which is about halfway or a little more than halfway up Alaska, and get off and then take an excursion up into the Arctic Circle. So after we landed in Fairbanks, Alaska, we hired a tour guide to take us up into the Arctic Circle. It was a long day. We were gone for about 18 hours, and the Arctic Circle is just a little bit under 200 miles north of Fairbanks, Alaska. And this is the very southern edge of the Arctic Circle, which of course extends clear up to the North Pole. And we got in about 30 miles into the Arctic Circle, so we were about 230 miles north of Fairbanks. So we were on the very southern end, or the southern edge of the Arctic Circle. So we're traveling north on the Dalton Highway. This road was built specifically when the Trans-Alaska Pipeline was being constructed about almost 50 years ago. And this is a 2-lane gravel road. A lot of truck traffic on this road. And this road goes for several hundred miles all the way up to Prudhoe Bay. And it is a long, straight road in the middle of nowhere. We passed no houses, no civilization, no signs of humanity except that which was on the road, other than when we crossed the mighty, one of the longest rivers in the world, the Yukon River. And right across was the Yukon River Camp. But other than that, there were no towns, nothing. We traveled hour after hour after hour. You almost fell asleep looking at the same scenery over and over and over again. But I knew I would probably never be up here again, so I kept my eyes open for any signs of anything. Wildlife, flowers, trees, try to capture in my mind's eye every little detail. But as you can see, the road is straight, and you can travel around 40, 50 miles an hour in most places. It's well maintained, but it is long and boring and pretty flat. There's hills here and there, and a lot of clouds, big sky, beautiful cloud formations. But you can see, like along this road here, you see the little trees out there, the little black spruce trees. They're all dead. And there is a blight going through this area. It's actually a beetle that's killing a lot of the trees due to climate change. And so these trees look like little toothpicks standing around out there. And again, straight and narrow for hour after hour after hour. And that's what you have to go through in order to get to the Arctic Circle. So when I say that we were gone for about 18 hours, that doesn't mean that it was dark that whole time. Remember, this is the time of the midnight sun, when there is very little night during the daytime. In fact, the sun sets about 11:30 at night, and sun rises around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was light the entire time that we were traveling. As you can see, the flowers were out in full force. This is because it's early summer. This is the very best time of the year to visit this area. In the wintertime, this highway is one of the most dangerous highways in the world due to ice and snow, making it very hazardous for truck travel. As we were heading north into the Arctic Circle, we crossed a lot of small rivers, a lot of swamps, a lot of wetlands. This is a well-watered land. We were traveling in July. So the temperatures were fairly warm, in the 50s or 60s degree Fahrenheit. and a lot of flowers in bloom. And as you can see in these pictures, a lot of fireweed. Now, fireweed is not the official flower of Alaska. The forget-me-not is, but fireweed is ubiquitous. It's literally everywhere. Sometimes the whole mountainsides are covered with fireweed. Now here we are crossing the mighty Yukon River. The Yukon River is one of the longest rivers in the world at nearly 2,000 miles long. It starts in northern British Columbia, Canada, travels through the Yukon Territory, then winds its way traversing the width from east to west of Alaska, and finally emptying itself into the Bering Sea of western Alaska. Here we are at the Yukon River Camp, one of only several truck stops along the entire route of the Dalton Highway. This is called the Beaver Slide. It's 2 miles long. It's a 9% grade, and it's deeper than the U.S. highway regulations allow. So here we are at the crest of Beaver Slide, about to plunge over the top. You feel like you're on a roller coaster going into oblivion or something. As I said earlier, the Dalton Highway is one of the most dangerous highways in the world, and it is, I think, the highway that is the furthest north in the world, in the Arctic Circle. And it's dangerous because just imagine going down this hill and solid ice or packed snow, and you are in a big rig truck carrying supplies, loaded down with supplies for the oil fields there at Prudhoe Bay. A tremendous amount of truck traffic on this road. When they're coming, you've got to get out of the way. And there are many accidents in the wintertime. It's very deadly. Many people have lost their lives, and many accidents take place just because of the danger of this highway and the hazardous conditions that exist in the wintertime. In fact, the state of Alaska Department of Transportation spends $15 to $20 million a year just maintaining this highway to keep the vital link open to Prudhoe Bay and the oil fields there. So here we are at Finger Mountain, just south of the Arctic Circle. This is a state park and a rest area with a pit stop, and after traveling for hours and hours in a cramped vehicle, it's nice to get out and stretch your legs. But this is a prominent geological anomaly. It's a mountain, a rock that sticks up. Beautiful. You can see it from miles in the distance, and it's juxtaposed against the rather flat or rolling hill landscape of the surrounding tundra. So we got out and walked around, and I, naturally being a climber of trees, I climbed up on Finger Rock. My wife took a picture, and of course we examined the flowers that were in bloom all around us. It was beautiful to get out and look at the foliage, the flowers, the sedums, the fireweeds, which are everywhere, the vetch, the little berries that are growing all over the place, like lingonberries and blueberries and crowberries. And we saw a lot of flowers and a lot of really interesting plants, just like a little miniature Japanese garden of miniaturized plants.
Congratulations.
So we're just inside the Arctic Circle, exactly at the Arctic Circle Monument here on the Dalton Highway, and just kind of pan around, and we're on permafrost, and this area is surrounded by trees, black spruce primarily, along with cottonwood, alder, birch, and quaking aspen. And the ground is very soft and mushy. As you walk on it, not mushy, it's just very soft. Really mossy. Horsetail. And lots of little different kinds of berries. Lingonberries. High and low bush cranberries. And other types of berries. There's some spirea. And around here there's blueberries of various kinds. And some of these black spruce trees have growths, type of fasciation at the top. Here's the quaking aspen. The black spruce and the birch. Along with the alder. There's another quaking aspen. Quaking in the breeze. So we have stopped along the road here in some area of actual tundra. And you find there's very few, if any, trees growing on it. And it's mostly covered with sedges. These are all sedges. They look like grass, but they're sedges. And small shrubs and berries of all kinds. Lingonberry. There, red berry. And blueberries. Here's a blueberry. Right there. Right there. Another blueberry. More lingonberries, little red berries, blackberries too, called crowberries. Crowberry, there's a crowberry. Yeah.
Oh.
Crowberry, they're all edible. Yeah, maybe. And then here's a hole that our happy tour guide dug in the permafrost or in the tundra, and actually about 12, 14 inches down we hit permafrost right down the slope here. The ground's totally frozen. It's cool. We usually use it as like a refrigerator. Here's a bonsai, actually in Milwaukee, in the Alaskan tundra, growing right out here, right around the area of the Arctic Circle. Here's a little black spruce bonsai. This tree could be 50 to 100 years old. Now, to show you how big Alaska is, we were roughly 30 miles into the Arctic Circle, about 230 miles north of Fairbanks, Alaska. And to get to the very top of Alaska at Prudhoe Bay on the Beaufort Sea or the Arctic Ocean, we would have had to travel another 361 miles.